My name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review for the final episode of The Apprentice. This is episode 12 out of 12. We only have 2 candidates left, and in this episode we found out who the winner of The Apprentice 2023 was. I must say it has been an incredible series. I think all 18 of the candidates were kind of good. Obviously some of them left, some of them quit, some of them obviously didn't do that great, but I think it was a good batch, and obviously you just saw as the candidates went on and on and on and there was less and less and less, it did get better. Tasks, people and the overall teams themselves. So yeah, let's see what happened in the final episode, and then yeah, that is it for this series. So we found out it was obviously either Rochelle or Marnie who were going to be the next investment from Lord Sugar himself. They both woke up and they were told they had to go to Freemasons Hall. Marnie explained that it would mean the world to her to win, it's everything that her dreams have been made of, and Rochelle said it would obviously mean a lot to both herself and also her family. Lord Sugar said that obviously being at the Freemasons venue, it has 3 values, which are integrity, value and respect, which is what he wants to have in the next person that he decides to invest in. And he explained that it's the last opportunity for both of them to prove to him that they should be his next business partner. And the task was to launch their business, create a brand, have a digital billboard and also an advert. And that obviously they couldn't do the task by themselves, so they brought 8 of the previous candidates back in order to help them with the task. So one at a time they each picked who they wanted to have. Rochelle chose Danny, Marnie then chose Sahale, Rochelle picked Victoria, Marnie chose Simba, Rochelle chose Avi, Marnie chose Megan, and then Rochelle basically said that she couldn't pick between Joe and Brad, with Lord Sugar saying, yeah, it's not for a dating show, like just literally pick one of them who you want. So Rochelle picked Joe, and that meant Bradley was on Marnie's team, and she just said, oh, I was going to pick you next, Brad, anyway. So yeah, they were the team. So Rochelle had her help from Danny, Victoria, Avi and Joe. Marnie had her help from Sahale, Simba, Megan and Brad. Lord Sugar basically said that he either wanted the boxing branding to stand out, or he would want the hair salon branding to stand out. So it depended on the rest of the team as to who was going to win. Rochelle thanked her team for coming back, with Marnie saying that she obviously wants to take boxing classes to the extreme. Megan asked whether she was going to be pulling on people's heartstrings, and Marnie explained that she owes so much to boxing, so obviously she's in the boxing world, so yeah, she started that from quite a young age, so she now wants to kind of give back to the community, but also providing that service. With Rochelle obviously having been in her head business for at least 10 years, she wants to obviously continue that in kind of different nice places of London and obviously outside of London as well. Marnie explained that the USP for her business would be that life begins at boxing, and it's that they're not selling the fitness aspect, they're selling the feeling of feeling good. Rochelle said to her team that obviously she can do all different hair types, with Victoria asking whether they should focus on the salon or the academy side. She said focus on both of them, and obviously she wants her customers to leave the salon feeling confident, and she wants her colour scheme to be things like pink, black and or white. Marnie explained that she wanted to have like a punchy, powerful kind of brand name, something like Grit, with Marnie saying that you could have the word Grit across knuckles, with Bradley saying it looks a bit like a boxing club, and Marnie saying it adds to the curiosity of what the branding actually is. Simba said that other names that he was suggesting are things such as the Blue Corner or Boxicity, with Sahale saying Raw. Again, Marnie didn't really like any of those, and there was also a boxing club already called Raw or something similar to that. With Rochelle's team, Danny said something like Coco Milano, Avi said something like Diversary or the hair team. Again, she wasn't really a fan of both of those. Joe said the Cutting Edge, and apparently again that's a name that has already been done. Marnie explained that her and Bradley would go onto the logo and branding team, and that Sahale, Simba and Megan would be on the digital billboard team. Simba was going to be the sub-team leader, and he was going to star in the advert, and Marnie's advice was to obviously focus on the emotional part, with the team understanding the vision. Danny said it obviously felt good to be back here for Rochelle, with Bradley and Marnie getting straight on with the branding and designing, and he basically said to Marnie he's going to hit her with some tough love to obviously prepare her for her pitch. Danny decided to take a lead for their advert. I think her, Victoria and Avi were kind of doing their hair product, and it was a little bit too long, so Avi said they need to get that 10 seconds cut quicker, and Victoria said that their little mini team had a bit of panic trying to cut the video down, but they hope that Rochelle likes what they've managed to prepare. Megan managed to direct for the boxing team, and she managed to direct getting kind of Simba to come up close to the camera. And then Sahel did an example of what he would do, and Megan said that she actually preferred the way he was doing the boxing thing, so he then became the actor in the advert. And Karen basically explained that Megan seemed to have just focused on the boxing aspect. Rochelle and Joe, they were on the branding and logos team for Rochelle's team, and I think Rochelle wanted lighter text, and he basically said, if you want it any lighter, are you actually still going to be able to see the text? And Karen said that Rochelle's idea was obviously quite bland and quite basic. With Moni and Brad, she kind of just took the lead here, saying that she wanted to go for the phrase of grit and glory, where you obviously start your story. Bradley questioned whether she wanted to actually use fists, because again, that kind of hints it's all just about fighting or boxing or wrestling. And he asked to change the text to black just to kind of see what it looked like. She said she didn't like it, changed it back to white. She explained that she wanted to keep the text as it was. She was happy with the logo, the name, and they needed to just work on the alignment of the text. So she kind of just took a lead on that. Bradley didn't really say anything at all. It was more of a just she was talking and talking and talking, but she knew exactly what she was doing. Danny, Victoria and Avi, obviously they were looking at the billboard, and Megan, Sahel and Simba were also obviously creating the final logo. Megan explained that the fist doesn't really go with the logo. Simba said that it looked a bit like a fighting gym, and Megan explained that she wasn't sure why there was a double fist, adding that it looked a bit like martial arts. For Danny's team, she said to Rochelle that obviously they were stressing out because they had little to no time. Avi said it was about a 6 out of 10, it's not brilliant, it's average. And Megan said that it's done, well done everyone. So then this is before they fed back the information to the teams. Sahel asked what Marnie's thoughts were on the advert. She said that she felt like there was no emotion coming through. They should have given their heart into it, and she felt like they had lost the opportunity. Rochelle said there should have been more going on in her advert, but at least it doesn't distract you from the hair aspect. Victoria said that they wanted to add the fact of having all different hair types, but it was either that or the logo. And then that's when Avi said it was due to the time restraint. They were going to prioritise the logo over just a bit of text. Marnie explained that obviously the story behind the idea was to obviously have people near a shipping container and having that shed of light, and that she'd also written Simba another rap to do, with Megan asking Sahel, what about him? What, like, it's not just for Simba, maybe Sahel could actually be scouted, and she said no, I want Simba in the movie. Rochelle said that she needs to be showcased. So she wanted Avi to be on the branding team, and she wanted to go on the directing side. And she said things like getting the back of hair, the brushes on the hair, and obviously having Victoria spinning around on a shopping cart would be some of the aspects for her advert, saying that she wanted to let the hair do the talking. Simba also said that Marnie obviously wanted a lot of emotion, and Megan explained that it almost seemed like Marnie had high expectations. And then Rochelle did her shoot at Selfie Factory with Victoria and obviously Danny. Rochelle said that obviously she wanted Victoria to act a little bit more serious. She also said that she felt like she had a tendency to actually get involved and direct, not because it was obviously her brand, but obviously she just felt like there was a few things that she wanted to say. And then she was also having the hair dryer or the hair blower on Victoria, with Danny asking whether she should do it, and Michelle basically said, no, you're the director. So that was quite funny to watch. With Simba and Sahel, obviously Simba was the director, and he basically said to Sahel he needed a little bit more emotion in his face. And then they did a little outside scene with Sahel and Megan as well. Joe and Avi were doing a quick mock-up of the product. So Avi basically just said, what makes you think wow when you go into a hairdresser's or a barber's? And Joe said things like coffee making machines, food, snacks, things like that. And also lights. And then Avi also went on to say what is a type of feminine animal, something like a flamingo. And Tim basically said that both of the boys had never been into a hairdresser's before, so they were kind of not even speaking from experience, with Avi saying they could even have like a floating sign above the courtyard as well. Marnie and Bradley then did their design mock-up, and again, it wasn't that Bradley wasn't talking, it was the fact that Marnie just naturally took the lead because it was her product, and she basically had the different framings, the logos, the boxing ring, the billboard behind the reception desk, so they kind of made like a 3D looking gym, which was really, really good. And Karen basically said that it felt like Marnie had walked through that gym multiple times in her head. She knew exactly what she was doing. And then with Joe and Avi, again, they were discussing different action points, so where something could actually pop up within their little 3D mock-up with a title of Welcome To by Rochelle. I think they were trying to work out a tagline here, or kind of like a welcome sign. So Avi said that the tagline was something to do with confidence, one strand of hair at a time, or one haircut at a time. And Joe said that if they would have had someone like Danny or Rochelle there, they could have had an action element that could have been better, something like a voiceover or different voices or female input and things like that. Victoria said to Rochelle that she wanted to potentially add a second screen to the final edit, but Rochelle said it might take up a little bit much time or it might not actually work. Megan said to Simba that the poem Marnie had created was quite boring, so they decided to change that. And Sahil actually said that Marnie knows what she likes, but Megan basically replied and said Marnie's not here, like she doesn't know what we're having to read and it's a bit too much, so they basically just shortened down the rap or whatever it was that Simba was going to sing into something a little bit more concise. And then yeah, with the 3D designs, Marnie said that's the gym, that's it sorted. Obviously the gym brings people together, and Megan explained that she was happy that her vision had come to life. Rochelle said to Joe and Avi that she does a lot more than just cutting hair. And Avi said that the experts might ask why the 3D walkthrough is boring. Marnie was very happy with the advert that her team had created, saying she didn't know how it was going to look, with obviously Rochelle asking her team how they thought her advert was, and Joe said that there were maybe some points it was quite difficult to see the writing, with Rochelle saying the advert definitely comes to life. Rochelle and Victoria were then preparing for Rochelle's pitch, and then Marnie and Brad were obviously practicing for her pitch. Rochelle said she wanted to put across her passion and obviously the fact that she wants to bring diversity in how she will do it. With Marnie and Brad, she said that she wanted to start by being bold, telling of her story, of her powerful moments and her pivotal moments in life, to then go on to say why she's created what she's created. So with Sahil, Simba and Megan, they were obviously at the billboard and getting kind of consumer research feedback from just members of the public. Some of them said that they weren't sure what it was promoting, was it a product or was it a gym class? It wasn't explained very well. And then for Danny, Avi and Joe with Rochelle's business, they said that the word confidence could be bigger. Danny asked if it stood out, and one of the girls said it wasn't luxury, but it came across as quite cute. And then, yeah, Rochelle and Victoria were obviously getting prepared for the speech, and she noticed that Lee Stafford was going to be there. Obviously, he's like a hair guru. And Marnie said that you never usually get to see a ring before your fight, so the fact that they were actually able to see the venue was obviously a bit of a helpful thing, so you can kind of see where you're going to like target your attention and who you're probably going to aim your pitch at. Megan said to Marnie that obviously some of them were unsure what her branding is, and she said that everything has faults, it's just kind of the way that probably you deliver it. And Danny said to Rochelle that questioned whether the logo could be seen on high-end products, with Rochelle thanking her team for the support, as she now has to go and do the pitch of her life. So Simba did a bit of a boxing introduction for Marnie, saying let's get ready to rumble, and she started her speech saying that she lost her dad at 8, she started boxing at 17, she knows that amateur boxing doesn't really have profit in mind. Someone said how can she differentiate her product, and she said that boxing is usually the place for people to kind of share their emotions and things. And then someone asked if someone doesn't have an interest in boxing, how would they be interested in something like this? And I think she said something about like the community of kind of bringing people together. It's daunting, but the whole situation is through feeling, and it's not just aggressive. It's aggressive when competitive, but you can still have kind of like a social aspect of boxing where you're just kind of there with other people watching the sport. Lord Sugar obviously asked some of their professionals whether the market was crowded. Some of them said that obviously the location, you've got all different classes and every different type of class available. There's a lack of good trainers out there, so maybe having this new gym might make it even more difficult to hire new people, and the branding perspective looks quite gritty, so kind of where she's aiming for has been created quite well. And then for Rochelle's speech, obviously she said she's had a business for 10 years. She explained that in 2021 Afro hair was introduced as standard type hair, and one of the questions that she received was how will she scale up. So she said she would start in Milton Keynes and after 6 months get to a new venue. And I think Nicola Hughes said that obviously she has her own branding, with all different salons, with all different hair types, and Rochelle basically had a comeback to say there's still a gap in the market, like not all salons are as open and as inclusive and exclusive as hers. So she wanted to, yeah, there was still a gap in the market, that there wasn't every single salon doing the same thing, so there was still a room for her to get in and squeeze in her business idea. And someone asked her why her idea was so special and unique, with her saying that she had a bit of a different approach to the online training. And Lord Sugar asked whether she could actually scale up her business, with some of the professionals saying that there's nothing new added to the table. Everything that she said has been said before. She should just focus on one or two of the skills that she's actually good at rather than trying to do everything at the same time. And then in the boardroom, we found out that obviously this was the final interviews before obviously we found out who was going to get fired and who was going to get hired. So Rochelle and Joe were on the branding team, and Lord Sugar basically said there seemed to be no mention of hair in the branding. Avi said that it was a pleasure working with both Danny and Victoria, and that obviously both the acting was really, really good. And Lord Sugar said that Danny looked good in the beginning, so although she had this like hair makeover, she actually looked fine to start with. Rochelle explained that she didn't know much about the metaverse, so she decided to swap herself out for Avi, and obviously that's where Avi and Joe went onto the metaverse side. And she said that the ethos behind her brand was diversity, and she needed to represent a woman of colour in the advert itself. Victoria said that she decided to go into modelling because obviously Lord Sugar had said that her current business was just a hobby, so they all had a little giggle there. And Lord Sugar said to Marnie that the fact that her brand was called Going to the Grit and Glory, it almost sounds like he's going to a pub. Brad said that every time he asked Marnie something, she had a fantastic answer, and Marnie said that she wants to thank Brad for letting her run with her vision, saying that the advert that she had created was obviously very, very strong. And yeah, I think they basically joked that it felt like Marnie and Brad did the branding, when Karen basically said it was Marnie and Brad just happened to be there, with Joe joking, saying, did he just make you a cup of tea or give you a massage or something like that. Marnie was asked that after leaving The Apprentice today, would she have signed that lease? And she said it would take between 8 and 10 weeks until she's actually in business. Lord Sugar said that there's nothing special in what she's offering. What is he actually investing in? He'd be investing in the incredible atmosphere, gyms with equipment, and obviously something fancy, something high-end, superficial, is not usually interested in profit or the gym itself. They're just there just because. But she's focusing more on the middle ground stuff and actually bringing in people because they actually want people involved in the business. Rochelle explained that she's had 14 years to just create the one salon, and she was asked why she hasn't been able to grow or make any other new salons. And she said she would rather have one large base than lots of little ones that are unsuccessful. And Lord Sugar said that she had a £9 million turnover, so how was she not able to at least have a second venue? Rochelle explained that things such as the hair extensions and online extensions would pretty much use the entirety of the profit if she was to have a new venue, so she wanted to just focus on the one salon that she had and kind of keep reinvesting that money to new things. Lord Sugar explained that for Rochelle, it was the second branch that was the problem. He would be basically putting all of his money into that, and the money would basically be gone straight away. And he explained that a system needed to be put in place. She said that she has those systems in place with her first venue, and there are different avenues with obviously with hair. And Karen and Tim obviously both gave Lord Sugar a little bit of insight as to who they thought should be hired. So I think the other 8 candidates by this point had already left. Karen basically said that Marnie's never run a business, and obviously this industry is quite competitive, with Tim saying if you are to have an ambassador for boxing, Marnie is definitely the woman that you want. And Tim said about Rochelle, whether she's actually scalable for nationwide businesses, and Karen said that he would be there to put infrastructure around her in order to support her. They would definitely be able to obviously get her salons created quickly. And in the final boardroom, Rochelle explained that she started her original business with £50 and second-hand furniture, with Lord Sugar saying it was the logistics and the other issues with not having that second venue that are the reasons why he's kind of unsure whether to go with her. And she said that she understands the first premises and she understands what she's got with that, so now she knows how to do the second one. And with Marnie, she said things like boxing, she usually leaves things in the ring, and although she's never run a business, she does see profit being made from at least year 1 to year 3. Rochelle said she's already got a business and she's already running it itself, with Marnie saying that she felt like she was just getting started. And Rochelle said, Marnie's a boxer, but I'm a fighter. And Lord Sugar basically did a quick summary, saying Marnie obviously wanted to enter a crowded market. And Rochelle was questioned why she hadn't created a second or third branch and whether they would be as popular and obviously win him money back. He said that Marnie's business was completely alien to him, and obviously Rochelle, again, it was just that second venue that was putting him off. He explained that it was difficult to know which industry he wanted to go into and that he was a gambler, and he said that Marnie, she was going to be his new business partner, with Marnie saying it was an incredible moment for a girl like her. She is very happy. So that was basically it for The Apprentice. We found out that Marnie came first, Rochelle came second, Megan came third, Danny came fourth, and obviously Victoria came fifth. And Simba came sixth. I can't remember anyone else going further back than that, but it was Marnie who was chosen as the business partner. I think it's a good idea. I think because he's already invested in hair related products or skin kind of related products before, He did even say himself, this world, this boxing world is completely alien to him, but the fact that she's kind of got the contacts, she's got these different loans, she is very passionate about what she wanted to do. And actually what was quite funny with Marnie is that in the very, very first task, she was actually brought back to the boardroom as one of the bottom 3, and she did still manage to survive. I think she was actually the project manager as well on the first task, or at least sub-team leader. But yeah, to see her go from being in the boardroom on day 1 to in the boardroom on the final day and actually winning was incredible. Yeah, that is pretty much it for the episodes now. That's all 12 episodes, all 12 vlogs done, hopefully, by the time this video goes out. But yeah, if you did enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Who did you want to win? Was it Marnie? Was it Rochelle? Was it somebody that kind of, you know, went out a while ago? But yeah, if you did enjoy my video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll be with you very soon for another video. And until then, thank you for watching and goodbye.